Are you guys there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, you can. Did you say? Hello? Can you guys hear me there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so today is going to be our last session for the reading section. And we're going to finish working on the reading on the same practice that we started on Tuesday. And we're going to do another practice set as well. Okay, guys, so I remember that with you, we finished all of the types of questions, but we were missing the last summary questions, right? So we're going to finish with summary questions. Then we do another. So first of all, summary questions will always be the last question of your passage. So it will be question number 10. And as I was giving you, I think as it was you with you guys, as we were seeing yesterday, in summary questions, you will have 6 options, 6 sentences, and you have to choose 3 out of those 6 that summarize better the main ideas that were presented in the passage. Okay, remember that it's worth a little bit more than the other questions. So let's go to this practice set. No. Okay, guys. So if we go to the last question of this set, question 10, we have the summary questions. Now, as we were saying yesterday, the instructions are clear. They say, where is it? Complete the summary by selecting the 3 answer choices that express the most important ideas in the passage. Some sentences do not belong in the summary because they express ideas that are not presented in the passage or are minor ideas in the passage, right? So we have these 6 sentences. Wilder, could you please read option A?
The number on sophistication of the cultural, administrative, commercial, and religious features of Teotihuacan indicate the existence of centralized planning and control.
Thanks. What do you guys think about that sentence? Would you say that that is a good summary of what was mentioned in the passage? The number and sophistication of the architectural, administrative, commercial, and religious features indicate the existence of centralized planning and control. What do you think? Do you feel that you'd need to go back to the passage and see and check? This was the passage, right? How do you feel about that sentence? I'm gonna send you guys this PDF so that you also can see it on your own screens. Okay, so we're answering question number 10. Remember that out of these 6, we need to choose 3, right? So how do you feel about that first sentence, sentence A? Could it be a possibility or should we discard it and why? Take some time to read the other sentences, okay? Please take a moment to read all of these 6 sentences from A to F, and then let me know what you think. So read the 6 of them. Remember that we need to choose 3 to complete the summary. So 3 sentences that summarize the most important ideas from the passage. Okay, I'll give you some time. Okay, guys. So what do you think? Which 3 sentences would you choose for this summary? Evie, which is one that you chose?
One of them, I think it's C.
Okay, great, Evie, thanks. What about you, Sergio?
Is are always 3 options?
Yes, you always have to choose 3 options out of the 6.
Okay.
So which is one that you chose, Jusla?
Yeah, I think that it's C, but I don't know more.
Okay. Sergio, where would you?
I think that the answers maybe is 1 or letter a C, and maybe the answer 5 or
Okay. Wilder, what about you?
A, C, and E. Sergio.
Right. Actually, you guys are correct. Options A, C, and E are the correct answers. And you did it just fine. Now, can anyone tell me why you discarded options B, D, and F? Why don't you think that they could be a good summary?
About F, I thought it was so specific and it wasn't what they were asked for.
Exactly. Great point, Eddie. Thank you. You're totally right. And actually, that is like one way to quickly, especially when you don't have a lot of time. The first and most important tip that I'm going to give you here, and this is something that most students do, please don't spend too much time in this question. I know that it's longer, and I know that it is worth a little bit more than the others, right? It's worth like two of the other questions. But remember, if you, like, let's say you chose A, C, and F, so you have 2 out of 3. If you have 2 out of 3, then you will have 1 more point. So it's good enough, you know, honestly. I wouldn't spend too much time here because this is the last question. And if you spend too much time, you're not gonna leave enough time for the other passage because remember that you have 3 or 4 passages. So it is not worth it. It's better to do it quickly. That's what you already read. And the good thing is by the time that you get to the 10th question, to the last question, since you have already answered all of the other ones, you have answered question 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one was about a different paragraph, then I'm pretty sure that by the time you get to this question, then you'll already, I mean, you'll have read everything in the passage. So you don't really need to go back to the passage and check. Honestly, don't do that because that's gonna make you waste a lot of time. So quickly try to eliminate options. Like Edwy said, right? For instance, option B is definitely not an answer choice because it is extra specific. It's like too specific to be the one. It talks about a specific period of time. It talks about only one specific area, which is immigrants, course label. So basically, option F is only focusing on one point out of the many that were mentioned in the passage, which is population growth and immigrants, right? And it is too limited to one specific time, too many specific details. When you have something as specific as F, then it is very likely not going to be an answer choice. Now, if we compare it, for example, if we compare it with option E, it is completely the opposite, right? Because option E is very broad. It says, in many important areas, from the obsidian industry to religious tourism. So this isn't just talking about the two. This isn't just talking about obsidian and religions. It's talking religion, sorry. It's talking about everything else in between, right? So in many areas, starting from the obsidian industry to religious tourism, but you have many others in between. The Tehuacan success and prosperity typify the classic positive feedback cycle, which is an important topic. Another thing that gives me a good, like, that makes me think that it could be the one too, is that it is talking about this positive feedback cycle. And that was something that was mentioned in the conclusion. So really, ideas that were mentioned in the introduction and in the conclusion are very likely going to be summaries. In fact, the whole, I mean, the last paragraph, I think it was paragraph 6, was sort of like a summary. So if you have ideas in the answer choices that refer to the introduction or to the conclusion, then they're more likely to be the answer choices. So option E, not only is it very broad because it talks about many areas and it talks about Teotihuacan success and prosperity, but it's also referring to something mentioned in the conclusion, which is another tip, you know? Now, why did we eliminate the other options, option B and D? Why not B?
I think it's because this is a specific point that are religious, and it has different parts that mention about the development of each one.
So yes, Teotihuacan may have developed its own specific religion as a result of the cultural advances. So honestly, it looks tempting. You know, I would consider it. I wouldn't eliminate it until the end. because maybe religion could have been one of the most important topics mentioned, but it wasn't the only one, right? So yes, as Wilder is saying, religion isn't really the main topic of the passage, like to include it as a summary. It was just about Teotihuacan's development, and that included many factors. Religion was certainly one of them, but not one main factor or anything that was mentioned too much so that we could consider it as a main idea. So it's not that bad. It honestly looks good. I would also try to maybe check if this information is correct or not, probably not, to see if I would choose that one. And option D, same thing here, right? It's very specific. It talks about religious shrines only. So it says, as a result of its large number of religious shrines, by the 1st century AD, so again, very specific, Teotihuacan became the most influential religious center in all of Mesoamerica. So again, it's just talking about religion. And religion wasn't really a main idea in the passage, was it? So option D does not respond. But instead, options A and C are very broad. They include everything. For example, option C says several factors. So all of them are there, may account for Teotihuacan's extraordinary development, including but not excluding location, natural resources, irrigation, and so forth. So again, very broad, right? Basically explaining what the factors were for Teotihuacan's success, which is the main idea of the passage. What were the factors leading to Teotihuacan's success? So it does make sense. It goes with the title too. And option A, same thing, right? This is, by the way, mentioned in the introduction, you know? So ideas that were mentioned in the introduction and in the conclusion are very likely going to be answer choices. And obviously something that is related to the title, the factors influencing the growth of Teotihuacan. So that's going to be it. I wouldn't recommend going back to check unless everything looks too specific and you have certain things that you need to corroborate are true. Because remember, probably in these 6 ideas, there may be some things that are not true or that are not mentioned. So do we know that this is true? If you were choosing option B, then I would try to go, if you have time, if you still have more minutes within the 18 minutes that you have for your passage, then you can go back and check that this is correct. If not, then you just should do it quickly. Because the way you did it was great. You got the 3 of them right, and you didn't need to go back and check. So it's better not to reread again. Just try to choose the ones that look more specific, that make more sense to you, that are not talking about specific details. And that'd be it in this case. Is this okay? Do you guys have any questions about this summary question?
Sorry, miss, but is there a correct order?
No, it doesn't matter if you go like first C, then E, and then A. No problem. Either way, what you have to do in the test is drag and drop. So you will be like selecting option B, and then when you will be dropping it in the box. So they are gonna order it in the alphabetical order automatically. You don't have to do anything. So it doesn't matter if you don't put them in order. Any other question? Okay, guys. So what do you think? Do you have any questions so far about the reading section before we do another practice test? Any more questions? Okay, guys. So we're gonna work on these ones here. I'm gonna send you the link too. On it, this is a good website. Of course, it isn't exactly as the TOEFL test. So I always recommend studying with official practice sets, but it's useful. You know, it's a good website to check out. Okay, guys. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send you the document where the passage is gonna be so that you can have it too. I will give you some time to scan the passage because remember that you don't have to read it carefully in the first time. And then we will be answering the questions to practice. Okay, maybe you can just go to the link. Or no, I will send it. Or maybe I'll send it to you. Okay, guys. So please, I just send the link to the document. Open it, please. You will find the passage there. Or if you want, you can read it directly from the website. Okay, guys. So I will give you first 3 minutes so that you can scan the passage. Okay, remember what we did, just try to look for the main ideas in each paragraph and to have an idea of the overall context. Okay, guys, we'll give you some time, 3 minutes to be exact, and so that you can read. Okay, guys. So time's up. Please turn your cameras on, and we're gonna answer the questions. Okay, guys, you ready? Okay, let's start with question 1. Question 1, Sergio, could you please read the question?
What was the aim of experiment outlined above?
Okay, guys. So I'm gonna give you some time. You have the text. You can go to it and let me know what you think.
I will say D.
Okay, Wheeler says D. Edvi,
I think it's B.
you go with B?
No, B.
B as in
B.
both.
Yes.
Okay. And Sergio?
I think it's B2.
Okay. So majority wins. Let's go for B. Let's see if it's correct or not. It is correct. Yes, to investigate where human mistakes come. So this refers to the questions go in order. So even if they don't specifically tell you from paragraph 1, believe me, you can assume that question 1 refers to paragraph 1. And question 2 could be from paragraph 1 or paragraph 2, but they will tell you. Or question 3 is going to be about the following. So they always go in order. So this should be in the beginning. We go to the first paragraph. It says, well, you have read a little bit, this is about an experiment. And in the introduction, we have, okay. Why are we so prone to making mistakes, and why do we tend to make the same ones time and time again? So Santos came to 2 possible answers to this question. Either humans have designed environments which are too complex for us to fully understand, or we are biologically prone to making bad decisions. In order to test these theories, they did the experiment. So basically, we want to know why we make those mistakes. Is it because of our environment, our design environments, or is it because we are biologically prone to making those bad decisions? That was the aim of the experiment, right? To understand or to investigate where human mistakes come. It wasn't really about the monkeys, but the monkeys were used to try to come up to a conclusion about humans. Now, question 2. Evie, could you please read question 2?
It says, where in paragraph 3 could the sentence below be best placed? The team distributed metal discs to the monkeys and taught them that the disc could be exchanged with team members for food.
Okay, thanks. So we have this sentence here, and we need to place it in paragraph 3. This is paragraph 3. So we have these 4 options. We could put the sentence here, we could place it here, we could place it in option C, that means here, or we could put it at the end here in option D. Where do you think that sentence should go?
C.
Okay, Wheeler says C. Do you agree? Sergio, you agree, right? Okay. Edvi, what about you?
I think D.
You think B. Okay.
D.
D, okay, at the end. Okay. So in order to know where we could place it, you have to look at certain things. First, is this sentence general or specific? Because remember that all paragraphs work in the same way. They start very general and they go to the specifics. So this sentence seems a little bit general, right? So I would say that it would be in the beginning because it's not really as specific as the other sentences. If you think about this, if one team member offered 2 grapes in exchange of 1 metal disc, that's very specific, you know? Whereas the sentence that we have, the team distributed metal discs in general to the monkeys and taught them this and that, that's more specific than that. So I wouldn't consider D too much because it's a little bit more general. So it should be in the beginning. I would consider A or B because then that's more specific. Now, the sentence we have here is already seems like an introduction to me to the paragraph. It's even more specific than the one we had in the question. So to put it in option A doesn't seem like a good idea. It's not a way, not a good way to start. Obviously, before talking about the monkeys and the experiment, we need to give some context. And this is a context, so we cannot really place it in A. So it should definitely be B. What else? That is like the best thing you guys can do. Other things, you know, here we're talking about scientists, right? And then they say the team. So that team should be described before, in the sentence before. That team is obviously the team of scientists, which is in the sentence before. So those are some things you guys can do. Okay, in that case, let's go and choose option B. Is that B? What were we saying? You guys said C or B?
C.
Oh, okay. You said C, right? In that case, okay. So yes, in order to find out, they had to introduce the monkeys to money. Okay, that's more general. The team distributed metal discs. Okay, so yes, it does make sense, right? Because the metal discs would be like the money for us. Team distributed metal discs to the monkeys and taught them that this could be exchanged with team members. Yes, definitely C. It talks about money. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next one. It says, which of the following statements is the best paraphrase of the highlighted sentence? On a more optimistic note, however, humans are fully capable of overcoming limitations once we have identified. Remember, for this type of question, it's better not to go back to the paragraph. So just read the options and let me know which one you would choose.
B.
Okay, do you agree, Sergio? Yes, what do you think, Sergio? Edvi, what about you?
Yes, I think it's B.
Okay, and Edvi?
Me too, B.
Great, so it is B. Remember, the thing is identifying the main idea. And in order to do that, you should be looking at the verb, right? The main verb in this case is humans are, right? Are capable. Humans are capable of overcoming limitations. That is the main idea. Humans are capable of overcoming limitations. So we should definitely be looking at verbs can. Those are the only synonyms that, okay. Those are the only synonyms that make sense, right? Can is a good synonym of are capable of. Humans can. The other ones, who humans will be able, that's not the same as we can right now or we're able right now. And humans do not have, well, that is not the same verb as to be capable of something. So if we look at option B and option D, then let's look at D. It says we're happy to know, okay, that we can solve the problem which we have identified. Now the difference between option B and D, which are kind of the same, is that option D is talking about one specific problem, right, which we don't know of. So we're happy to know that we can solve the problem which we have identified. We're just talking about one problem, one specific problem that we don't know about. But this is talking about problems in general, right, or limitations in general. It has to be option B. Is that okay? Any questions so far? All right, now we have a vocabulary question. It says, the words cotton on are closest in meaning to learned, new, completed, or concluded. First of all, do you guys know the meaning of cotton on? None of you? Okay, guys. So you can go to the paragraph. I'm gonna show it to you too. I sent the question. Here it is. So try to identify from context the meaning of this phrase. So what do you guys think? Is it learned, new, completed, or concluded?
Learned.
Yes. Let me start here.
A, I think A.
Learned. Great. It is learned, right? And we have actually many clues because the monkeys soon caught on. Okay. And as well as learning simple exchange techniques, we're soon able to distinguish bird gains. So it gives us the impression of like they were able to get the idea of what was going on, right? They learned something. And we also have this clue in here. And taught them, right? So the team members taught the monkeys and the monkeys soon learned. And they learned simple exchange techniques and they will learn to distinguish bird gains. So yes, great. Now question 5 says, which paragraph addresses why monkeys were chosen for the experiment? It's an interesting question. So what do you guys think? Which paragraph talks about why monkeys were chosen for the experiment? Is it paragraph 2, 3, 4, or 5? Why monkeys were chosen for the experiment?
Paragraph 2.
Paragraph 2. What sentence specifically?
In order to test these theories, the team selected a group of brown cappuccino monkeys.
Yes. But they say why, right? So-
The team wanted to test
And
the sentence.
you wanted to test here?
Yeah.
But the question says, I mean, yes, it is paragraph 2, but which sentence? Because the question says why monkeys were chosen for the experiment. So the first sentence just says that they chose monkeys, but doesn't talk about why. And the last one says what they wanted to test, right? Whether these monkeys would make the same mistakes or not. But it's not explaining why they chose specifically monkeys to do the experiment.
There says monkeys were selected for the test because as distant relative of humans, they are intelligent and that.
Exactly. This is the correct sentence. They say specifically, they were selected, they were chosen because they are intelligent and have the capacity to learn. Great. So paragraph 2. Now, question 6 says, what can be inferred about Lori Santos? So look for Lori Santos in the passage. Where is she mentioned? And see which one. So where is Lori Santos?
First paragraph.
Great. She's mentioned in the first paragraph, right? So it says, what do we know about her? It says, when primate psychologist Lori Santos, so first thing we know is that she's a primate psychologist from the Comparative Cognition Lab at Yale University. So we know where she works, right? In what laboratory she works. Posed this question to her team. They were thinking in particular of errors of judgment which led to the recent collapse of financial markets. Okay, and her team was thinking of trying to understand why the financial markets were collapsed, right? What errors we did. I think that's everything we know, right? Santos came to two possible answers to this question. Okay, so Santos was the one that proposed the two theories. It's either because of our environment or it's because of our how we are biologically made. What else? I don't think there's something else. So what would you guys say?
B.
Are you with me? Agree?
Yes, I think it's B.
Awesome. So yes, we know that she's a primate psychologist. So primate psychologist, she probably works a lot with monkeys. Now the other ones are like opinions, preferences of hers. We have no idea what she thinks or what she believes or what she prefers, right? Those are things that she doesn't say or that the article doesn't say about her. So there's no way to know what she thinks, what she believes, or what she prefers. We just know that what her job was, what she did in that for the experiment. Any questions so far? No? Okay, this question says, which three of the following statements are supported by the text? This is like a summary question, but not exact. And that's because we're not practicing with an official practice set, you know? But let's kind of take it like a summary question. So which three options will you choose that are supported by the text? Okay. What do you think?
B.
Risk-taking behavior among humans. Yes, that's the conclusion, right? The results were that monkeys, like humans, take more risks in time of loss. So the behavior of monkeys and that of humans is the same. Risk-taking behavior among humans is the same as that among monkeys. Good. Evie, what else?
I think A.
Okay. Both monkeys and humans take risks at any opportunity, you sure?
I was thinking about D too, but A or D.
A and D are both contradicting each other because A says that monkeys and humans take risks without like considering anything. So at any chance they're gonna take a risk. But option D says that they take more risks when they are losing out, when there's a chance that they will lose out. So which one is it gonna be? Remember the sentence we just read, right? The results were that monkeys and humans take more risks in time of loss.
So I think it's D.
You're right. Okay, and Sergio, what about the last one?
It could be C too.
Human mistakes are due to the complexity. Are you sure? In the beginning, they say if they wanted to test if it's due to the environment or to our biology. So what was the conclusion? Is it because our environment that we make the mistakes? Sergio, what would you say?
I'm not sure, but maybe the last one.
Monkeys make fewer errors of judgment. What do you think with there? Because in this case, like we read the conclusion, it says monkeys make the same irrational judgments that humans. What do you think, Wilder?
E.
E. Totally. Why E?
In the last paragraph, it talks about our evolutionary history.
Exactly. So maybe human error is not a result of the complexity of our financial institutions. So basically, it's not a result of the environment that we live in, but instead it's embedded in our evolutionary history. So it has to do with like how we have evolved from monkeys in this case. So if our perception of risk, which is human error, is embedded, that means has probably been part of our minds, so has been in our minds, in our evolutionary history, right? For millions of years. Is that okay? The other ones are not supported by the text because monkeys don't make fewer errors. They make the same irrational judgments. They make the same mistakes as we do. And it's not because of the complexity of our environment. I mean, it's here. The result of this experiment was that it's a biological thing because monkeys act in the same way, you know? So is this okay? Do you have any questions about this passage result? Or any questions at all? Before we go? Okay, guys. So then that's gonna be it for today. Please don't forget the daily survey. And I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday. We'll start the listening section on Tuesday. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Good night. Have a good weekend.
Good night. Same for
Bye,
you.
Miss.
Goodbye, teacher.